Welcome back to Cottage Designs by Erin, where we are going to be sewing a little baby sunsuit, McCall's Pattern 2213. We are making C in the middle, and I cut it out in a size medium. My granddaughter, Grace Josephine, weighs 16 pounds, and so she's right on the cusp of this, which is 16 to 18 pounds. She's very petite. So I used some of the fabric that I got yesterday in the Missouri Star mystery box. This fabric, there was a yard of it in there, and this is called World of Susie B for Clothworks. Let me show you that. World of Susie B for Clothworks. And so I'm going to make the outside of the sunsuit the floral, but the inside I'm going to line with a yellow gingham, since this has yellow flowers on it. So I'm going to move the camera to my hands now. Okay, so we have cut out the little dress on the fold. So it looks like this. This is the front, okay? And now it says to sew the side seams. First we have to find the side seams. This is a vintage pattern. I don't know what year it came out. Let me see if it says. 1999. But you know, sunsuit's a sunsuit. They never really go out of style. The seams on this are 5/8 inch, which I hate using, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so that side's pinned. Now let's see about the other side. This looks huge for a medium. But she'll be in it eventually. I'm not going to sew the bloomers today that go with this, because the directions read to cut it so many inches and then to add 2 inches to make it comfortable around the baby's belly. So I'll have to measure her before I can make the bloomers. All right, so we have this all pinned in place. We are now going to sew the side seams up. All right, brain, 5/8, not 1/4. To change gears, because when you sew dog clothes, it's 1/4. Oh, I got it on a zigzag. We don't want that. We want a straight stitch number 2. Gosh, you forget how big of a seam that is when you're not used to using it. It's pretty large. No wonder this thing looks so big. And I'm using the guide on my sewing machine plate, so I'll know where to go here. Okay, that side is done. Now we're going to go up the other side. Okay, so far it looks like this. Okay, now I'm going to have to press the seams. And I'm not putting any fancy trims or anything on this because this is just going to be something to play in the yard in. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Okay, so that part is finished. Now we are going to do the same thing with the yellow. So when you cut this out, you cut this out on a diagonal grain for the back pieces. And then the front goes on the center fold just like it is right here. We're now going to sew the lining the same that we sewed the outer section. If I sound like I am dragging, I am tired. I went out, I made the video this morning, and then I went out and I mowed the yard, and it's been a really busy week. I'm run down. Okay, so you always want to match up your little notches. I'm actually one of those weird people that enjoys mowing the yard. I like to make the lines in the grass. It makes me happy. And I push mow it because I need the exercise. I don't have a riding mower, but I also need the exercise. Okay, now we're going to lay the other side down. If you're looking for vintage gingham, I suggest going to Etsy or eBay. I bought an enormous box lot full of it. A lady made costumes, and she had all this gingham that she didn't want. Well, no sooner did I buy it from her, she found out she was having a granddaughter, and she messaged me and she said, I wish I would have never sold you the gingham, but it was too late by that point because I'm talking it was like a year later. But I came out with a really nice, wonderful big tote full of gingham. I've got it in just about every color. I almost named my online store the Gingham Cottage, but I didn't. I went with Cottage Designs by Erin, but I did consider that name. Okay, so now I'm going to take the ironing board out for a minute, and we're going to go ahead and sew up the other side. All right, now we're going to sew up the other side. Okay, I'm going to take the pins out. And now we are going to iron, or rather press these seams open. Small strings here on this one. Okay. So now let's see what our directions say to do. Pin contrast to dress, right sides together, matching notches, center fronts, and seams. Stitch, cut corners diagonally. Okay. Turn right side out. All right, so now we are going to put the pretty side up. Right sides together. It's important to get it to all line up because you want to get it caught in the seam. Okay, now we can pin this. I like these great big yellow quilting pins. I bought these off of Amazon and they're very nice. They come in handy quite often. So all the pieces of the fabric that I got from that Missouri Star mystery box ran $2.64 for each piece of fabric, not yard, because I didn't measure all the yardage. So this floral print was $2.64. The yellow gingham ran probably about the same, so we'll say, let's be generous and say $5. We have $5 invested in this so far. And then our thread is running $3 a spool. So we're under $10, $8. And then we will need elastic for the panties. So say 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll say $12. The whole thing will probably cost about $12 to make. All right, so now we are going to start. Let's see, that would be in this. Okay, we're going to start on the side because you want to be able to hide the seam. So I'm going to start on the side seam over here. We're going to sew all the way around it. And that's how we'll get this finished up. And then you'll be able to see what it looks like in just a few minutes. Stay with me. I can only sew so fast. Now I'm going to stop there for a second and turn it, because this part's square where the other side was round. the video I made her about a month ago, the little bonnets. She outgrew those bonnets in about 3 weeks. It's crazy how fast babies grow. A little shifting going around here. I hate it when that happens. People ask me why I don't make clothing to sell. Honestly, I have to be in the mood to make clothing. It's not really my forte. It's not something I really like that much. So that's why I don't do it very often. So you probably don't know the story of my grandma name. When my 6-year-old was born, my daughter said, "What do you want to be called, Mom? Do you want to be Mama?" I said, "No, I don't want to be Mama." I did agree to Gigi, but she has a nephew. He's got a Mimi, a Mama, and a Momo. I said, if we can have all those phonetics, I want to be called Jaja. Well, she, of course, knew who Zsa Zsa Gabor was because she loved to watch the show Green Acres as a kid. She said, "Mom, that is ridiculous. I'm not going to find anything with the name Zsa Zsa on it." I said, "Let's make a deal. If he can say it, I get to keep it." She said, "Okay." So one day we were sitting in the car waiting on a pizza. And I said, "Hey, buddy," I said, "can you say Zsa Zsa?" He was about 10 months old, 9, 10 months old. And he said, "Zsa Zsa." And she came out and I said, "Tell Mommy what you said. Say Zsa Zsa." And he said it plain as day. And so I have been Zsa Zsa ever since. So that is the story of my unique grandma name. But when they first all started saying it, they called me Dada. And I like that too. I don't care what they call me. If they call me, I'll come running. And they break my heart when they say, "We want to go to Zsa Zsa's house." They're coming over here tomorrow, so I'll get to see them then. We have little routine things we do when they come here. So they look forward to it. We usually bake something. We go out and eat. We come back and play. They watch a movie. And then by the time you do all that, it's about time to go home. Okay, we're getting close to where we started. So you want to leave about a hand's width room right here to be able to flip this thing inside out. But you don't want the seam to be too awful big because that's more that you will have to hand sew shut. Okay, we are done with that. So now Gonna cut off our strings. And I'm going to get my big scissors here, and I'm going to go around and clip the seam allowance, being very careful not to clip through the seam allowance, and this will make it easier for turning. I love my grandsons, but there's nothing like dressing a baby girl. And it brings back such fond memories of me being able to dress Taylor when she was a baby. She was a beautiful baby. Alright, so we got all that done. Now we're going to clip I'm using Guggenheim scissors. If you sew a lot, you need these. Excuse me. They're spring action. No hand cramps. They go through multiple layers of fabric. Alright, now I'm going to take the pins out. Here we go with the turning process. I should have left a bigger hole, I'm telling you right now. I guess the good thing about having such a large seam allowance, you're certainly not going to skip a spot like you do when you have a 1/4 inch. It's hard to do with such a huge allowance. Okay, there's one side turned. It's about like flipping a pillowcase, only worse because of the straps. need to go in with my hand and straighten all this up here. Okay, now let's get the sewing machine out of the way. I'm already covered in strings. Oh, come on, you guys. Let's come out of here. It's taking shape. Now you can see how truly small it really is once you do that. Poke this out a little bit more, make sure I don't have anything in there that shouldn't be. Okay, so now we're going to use our little ironing board and we're going to press what we've done in place, making sure that we get the lining down. Here's our little seam over here that we're going to have to sew shut. I'm going to put myself a little pin right here so that I know that's where my hole is at that has to be sewn shut. And I'm not going to get it perfect the first time, but I'm just going to do it enough to where you can see what the finished outcome will look like. My directions. Off the table. Okay, so that should be enough for you to see. So this shoulder is going to go over this direction. And then this shoulder goes over the opposite direction. Now, the picture shows all of this adorable rickrack, which could still be sewn on at this point. It's going to need a better press job. but you get the idea here. Okay, and this is going to go over here. All right, let me bring the camera back up. So it's taken 37 minutes. And we have made this sweet little sunsuit that crisscrosses in the back. It is fully lined. So now I would still have to make the bloomers. It needs a good press again. And then up here you could put buttons or snaps, either one, or Velcro, whatever you want. I need to bring that down a bit. And then it also has a cute little beach hat that goes with it if you want to make the beach hat. So this is a darling little pattern. It's super easy. It just takes a little bit of time. Oh, there went my pen. Let's try that again. Here's the back. Here's the front. And it just needs a little touching up. So again, this was McCall's Pattern 2213. We made it in a size medium, but it goes like this. Small is 13 to 15 pounds, medium 16 to 18. But even though Grace is close to that, she's very tiny, so I just stated that size range. Large is 19 to 21, and extra large is 22 to 24 pounds. I hope you like my video. Please like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and come back for more in the future. Thank you.